Hello, and welcome to Web Relates. Today we're looking at the Entitled Parents subreddit. Our first story is by Level Neighborhood. Entitled Parent thinks I owe her my seat because she didn't book a ticket for her child. This was a couple years ago, but I can't get it out of my head, so I thought I'd share here. Okay, to start with the story. My family lived across the country back then, so I would usually buy a flight to get there. Well, this was during the holidays, so everything was backed up and there was a lot of storms. So when I got to my first layover, my flight was cancelled, and they couldn't get in their system to get me a hotel. So I slept on the airport floor that night, clutching all my bags. By the time I got onto the plane, I had spent 24 hours in the airport. Luckily for this flight, I had booked first class. So I get on the plane and get comfy, and I'm just so happy that I'll be home soon after the last couple days I had. When a really nice flight attendant comes over and points at the empty seat next to me and mine, and tells me a mother forgot to book her toddler ticket and she was wondering if they could take my seat, and the empty seat next to me. I told them that I'm sorry, but I've had a really long day and I paid extra for this and I would like to stay. The flight attendant was very nice and said no problem, but she let the woman come sit in the empty seat next to me with her toddler on her lap. She immediately looks at me with a scowl and says, "I can't believe you wouldn't trade your seat for a kid," and simply tell her, "Ma'am, I paid extra for this seat, and you should have booked him a ticket. This isn't my fault." Then she keeps going off, saying things under her breath and to her toddler, like I can't hear her. And then she tells her kid to make the most noise he can do whatever he wants. And she keeps saying things to me, and I can't believe this entitled woman. I finally lash out and said, "Will you shut the hell up?" I'm not proud of myself for this, but with the last couple of days I didn't care anymore. But my common sense came back, and I apologized for swearing in front of her kid, even though I heard her call me a bee and many other words. Again, the woman wouldn't shut up, and finally my savior came. That really nice flight attendant came over and bent down to the woman's level and said, "Ma'am, you were lucky to be able to switch seats, and all I've heard from you since you switched is you threatening this woman and telling your child to be noisy. This plane hasn't left yet, and we have no problem kicking you off this flight. And if you continue to do this while we're in the air, you will be banned." I couldn't help but smile. She finally shut up, and I was so glad that I had downloaded Sex Life on Netflix, so I could finish my steamy show right in front of her. Our next story is by Outside the Walls. She's under 10, so she eats for free. I own a small restaurant, classic American foods, decent prices, kid-friendly. One of our policies is that kids 10 and under can get anything off the kids menu for free. The stuff on the kids menu is cheap, like a bowl of mac and cheese with some chicken nuggets isn't breaking my bank on food cost. A hot dog and some fries aren't going to bankrupt me. Last night I was sitting in the office watching some YouTube videos when I noticed a family that I know personally. Their daughter, 12 female, is friends with my granddaughter, 13 female. When I see people I know, I have a tendency to sort of take over the table. The server still gets the tip, but I give the table a lot of extra attention. So I stop over and say hi, and I check their ticket in the computer out of curiosity. The dad got our 22-pound porterhouse with a fully dressed potato, butter, cheese, sour cream, bacon, chili, ranch dressing, and crispy fried onions. The mom got our fried catfish and hush puppies. The daughter got our pulled pork cheeseburger with onion rings. Note, daughter ordered off the main menu, not the kids' menu. Anyway, they spend about 40 minutes eating, drinking, and generally being merry. Both myself and their server are keeping an eye on their drinks, making sure they are having a good experience. I even gave them 5 free credits on the jukebox, just to be nice. I head back to the office to take a phone call, and while I'm back there, I notice a commotion on the cameras, at that very same table. Before I can make it to the dining room, the server is in the kitchen, heading towards my office. Apparently there was a mistake with their tab, and their daughter's meal should have been free. The server tried to explain that that only applies to items on the kids' menu, and the girl had ordered off the main menu. The explanation fell on deaf ears. So I head out to solve the problem. I explain that not only did the girl order off the main menu, but I know for a fact that their daughter is not 10 or under, since my granddaughter had been to her 12th birthday party back in March. The mom tried to argue, but the dad put his hand up, apologized for his wife's behavior, and passed me his card to pay. Before they had even left my establishment, the mom already left a nasty and completely false Google review, stating that we lie about our policies and kids don't really get free meals. Our next story is by Long Lost Neverland. Entitled parent demanded we brought birthday gifts for all her kids and not just the birthday boy. So my auntie has 2 kids. One is a boy who is a bit older and no trouble at all. He's 8. And my evil cousin who is a girl and is 2. She wants everything. Seriously, if you have something and she doesn't, she holds her breath and won't breathe until she has it, and cries non-stop until she gets what she wants. Anyway, it was the 8-year-old's birthday, and he was having a birthday party. However, my auntie told me it would be a party for the girl too, whose birthday was in December. There would be 2 cakes, birthday banners with her name on, and people would have to pretend it was her birthday too. Like, what the hell? How is this fair to the actual birthday boy? Anyway, she also told everyone we had to bring gifts for both the kids, and if not, we weren't able to attend. It had to be fair for both of them. I did not buy presents for both kids, but attended anyway, and it was something from my worst nightmare. Everyone was tending to the girl, and no one besides me acknowledged the actual birthday boy. People even sang happy birthday to her, taking pictures of her, and she got loads of money, a new bike, etc. She got double what the birthday boy got. I felt so bad for him, and I saw him crying in his room, so I went up, and he said no one cares about him. So I argued with my auntie regarding this, and she said I have ruined the day and I need to leave. What an entitled woman and her horrid entitled bratty kid. Okay, that was a bit of a ridiculous one. The 2-year-old's behavior is completely unpleasant, but also completely normal for that age, unfortunately. But the idea that the mother would not be putting a stop to that kind of behavior is ridiculous. Our next story is by Lucob, 29 male. Finally stood up to my entitled parents and gained my freedom. For as long as I can remember, my parents have controlled every aspect of my life. They demanded perfect grades, picked my friends, and decided what hobbies I could pursue. Nothing I did was ever good enough for them. If I got a 95 on a test, they would ask why it wasn't 100. If I made a new friend, they would scrutinize them until they found a reason to disapprove. After I graduated college, I thought things would change. I landed a decent job and moved into my own apartment, hoping to finally gain some independence. But my parents had other plans. They started showing up unannounced, criticizing my choices, and trying to dictate my career path. They even tried to control who I dated, insisting that no one was good enough for their precious child. The breaking point came when I got a promotion at work. I was over the moon, but my parents were not. Instead of congratulating me, they berated me for not consulting them first, and told me the new position was a mistake. They insisted that I should quit and find a job they approved of. I was devastated and furious. How could they not see how hard I had worked and how much this meant to me? I realized then that nothing would ever change unless I took a stand. So I did something I had never done before. I stood up to them. I told them that I was an adult, capable of making my own decisions, and that their constant interference was no longer welcome. They were shocked and angry, accusing me of being ungrateful and disrespectful. But I didn't back down. I told them that if they couldn't respect my boundaries, they were not welcome in my life. It was the hardest conversation I've ever had, but it was also the most liberating. For the first time, I felt like I was in control of my own life. I stopped answering their calls and messages unless they respected my boundaries. It wasn't easy, and I felt guilty at times, but I knew it was necessary for my own well-being. A few months later, my life had transformed. I was excelling at my job, had made new friends who supported me, and was in a healthy, loving relationship. My parents eventually came around, realizing that they had pushed me too far. They apologized and agreed to respect my boundaries, and our relationship improved significantly. Standing up to my entitled parents was the most challenging thing I've ever done, but it was also the best decision I've ever made. It taught me the importance of self-respect and the power of setting boundaries. Now, I'm living a life that I am proud of, free from their constant criticism and control. Good for OP, I'm glad that one worked out in the end. Alright guys, that's all I have for today. I finally got a new mic, so that comes with its own set of challenges, but I'm figuring it out. It's been fun to play with. Let's see if it makes a difference. So please, if you enjoyed the content, please like, comment and subscribe, and then I will see you guys in the next video. Cheers.